Hello, welcome back. This is our Onshape tutorials for drawing the pedestal table parts. So in this tutorial, I suspect this video could be quite long. We're going to draw the tabletop. So I'm going to draw the basic design first, which is similar to how some of you will be building your tabletop in class, where it's made up of boards that are glued together. The other one that I will do, so I'll switch over to this later in the video, or maybe I'll just make a second video. I don't know. We'll see how we're going. Will be this one. This is one of the more complicated ones that we've got in the class so far. So in the second part of the video, I will show you that. What the aim is for you to, I guess, replicate what you're doing in the workshop here on CAD. So if you're using boards that are 100 millimeters wide, try and do that in the CAD program, which means you're going to have to apply what you learn from my videos, because I'm not going to do every single size that all of you are doing. I'm just going to show you one thing and you have to apply it to your own situation. Maybe you've got to adjust some sizes. Maybe you've got to change some orientations. So that's the aim. I want you to challenge yourself and do the best you can. So let me begin. So I'm going to go back to Onshape here. I'll go to Pedestal Table 1 because that's the one that I've been working on for these videos. We have so far drawn a foot, we've drawn a stem, support 1 and support 2. So we're going to open a new element, Create Part Studio, and let's rename this. Rename to Top. I forgot to mention we're referring to this diagram. This has got our size for the tabletop. 19 millimeters thick, although some of you may have thicknessed it down to 18. For purpose of this drawing, we'll do 19, and it's 420 in diameter. And like some of you who are doing in the workshop, is this tabletop is made up of boards glued together in a widening joint. So we'll try and replicate that in Onshape. So we'll start with a sketch on the top plane. We can turn off all the planes and the origin just to clean up our view. And I'm going to press N to view front onto the work plane. I'm going to glue together my tabletop with boards that are 70 mil wide. Just like we do in the classroom, we're going to start with boards that are bigger than our intended diameter. So our intended diameter is 420. So my boards need to be bigger. And I've got to glue together enough boards I would have to, in the workshop, glue together enough boards to make it bigger than the 420 as well. We're going to do that in Onshape. So my first sketch is a rectangle. Click once to start, click again to finish, and we'll set the sizes. So the width, I already mentioned, was 70. And the length has to be more than 420. So let's just go 450. And there we go. That's one board. So we'll finish that sketch. Let's go back to a three-dimensional view. Extrude it to a thickness of 19 millimeters. Oh, I could type 19 in there, don't I? 19, press enter. There's the preview and tick. So we don't have to go and draw that for however many bits we're making the widening joint to be. We're going to use this command called a transform. So look for the transform command in your toolbars. Again, it might be under a down arrow, and click on it. Entities to transform or copy. So we're going to copy that shape. This time, this is one of the few times you actually drag a box around to select it. And there it is there, part 1. It says it defaults to translate by line, but we're going to go translate by X, Y, Z. And I'm not sure whether we're going to move in an X direction, a Y direction, or a Z direction, but I do know I want that board to move out to the right. So I'm going to try dragging that arrow, and as you're dragging, which number's changing? It's the X number. The other ones are staying the same. So I know I need to edit this X value. And how wide was the board? 70. So we're going to translate by 70. Press enter, and it'll end up right next to each other. And put this where it says copy part, put a tick there. If you don't, it just moves it across 70 millimeters. We can edit it because it's here in our timeline. So if you happen to click the OK button, click the tick, and you didn't tick the copy part, you can just double click to open it, go back in and put the tick there. So just so we can differentiate, I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to do that now. So part 1, part 2, they're in our parts list. So if I right click on part 1, edit appearance, I'll just choose a dark browny sort of color and tick. Part 2, because it was copied, it does it the same color, but I'm actually going to edit its appearance and make it a light color just to make viewing it a little bit easier. All right, I've got 2 of our boards. It's not going to be wide enough yet, so we're going to do a transform button again. So click the transform button. This time we can actually copy both the pieces. So drag the box around both of them. That will select both parts. We're going to do an XYZ. Do you remember which value we changed before? If you don't, drag one of the arrows, or drag it in the direction you want to change it and see which value changes. So the X is changing. What was the width? It was 70, but now we've got 2 pieces. So we're going to go 2 times 70. We can write it in there. And we use the star as the times operator. And that will shift it across 2 places. And don't forget to tick the copy part. And is that wide enough? We can check with our tape measure down here. So the tape measure, we'll simply click one edge to the other edge. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. 2 are selected. It's only 280, so it's not enough. So let's do another copy. So transform, and we're just going to do them all again. How many pieces is there this time? 4. We change that to an XYZ. So it's 4 times 70 this time. And copy part. Definitely more than 420 now. $560. That's okay. It's bigger than we need it to be, and that is fine. All right, we're going to create a new sketch. We just need to cut this round. This is kind of what we do in the classroom, in the workshop. We glue boards together, then we'll cut our circle shape. We do the same in Onshape. So click one of the top surfaces. It doesn't really matter which one. That's where we'll do our sketch. I'm going to click N on the keyboard so we can view it front on. And we're going to choose the circle tool. Now, I'm going to endeavour to get the centre of the circle in the centre of this board. To do that, if I hover my mouse on the edge of that board and work towards the middle, I get that little square to indicate the midpoint. I don't click, but I move down, it'll create this dashed line. So what we're doing is inferencing the midpoint of that edge. Now we're going to do the same on the midpoint of the long edge. Inference it. So I haven't clicked, I'm just hovering. Now if I go across, we should get two intersecting dash lines at the midpoint of that board. And now I can click to start the circle. So we will drag that circle out and we'll resize it using the dimension tool to 420. Press enter. There we go. That sketch is done. Let's go back to a three-dimensional view. So we're going to use that sketch to cut away what we don't want. The outside area will be off-cut. This is what we want to keep. Hang on, I'll have to pause. So we're going to use the extrude tool. We're going to use it a little bit differently to how you've probably ever used it before. So let's click extrude. What do you want to extrude? So we need to select that circle. It's kind of going to be a little bit weird in that it won't select all in one go. You're going to have to select. It broke that sketch into 3 parts. So you just got to make sure you select all those parts of the sketch. And have a look at the preview and it should look like that. Now we're not wanting to add a new part here. We don't want to add, we don't want to remove. We're going to use the intersect tool. And what we want to intersect with is all the parts. So we have to put this this merge with, we have to put a tick in this merge with all. So intersect, we select our circle shape and we've got to tick the merge with all. And looking at the preview, it's grayed out the offcut, which is what I want, and I'm only going to keep the shape that I want. So we'll tick. Last thing we can do, if you wish, you could add a fillet or chamfer to this. I'm just going to add a fillet. So I'm going to click the fillet tool and I have to work my way around. Because we're all separate parts, I have to work my way around this whole outside edge of the object to create my my fillet. Maybe 8mm. How does that look? Yeah, it looks good. And that's this video. This video has already gone long enough. I will make a new video for the chessboard type tabletop. Thank you.